All right, everybody, welcome back to the Titans Table for Two in the two-tone blue. That's Andrew,
That's Christian.
and we're coming at you with the latest Titans news today. First of all, like, share, subscribe, check out the Curtis Podcast Network for any of your other favorite teams, and we're getting to it right after this. All right, what's up, everybody? We appreciate you joining us again on live on YouTube and X, and hopefully in the future Facebook.
No, we're on Facebook.
We are on Facebook. Excuse me. All right, that's my bad. A little bit of getting all this together, but yes. So a lot of news since last week, especially with one Cam Ward seeming more and more like he's going to be the pick. Seems to be what everybody around the league thinks. All the NFL, excuse me, all of the Titans brass went. I mean, when I say all of the Titans brass, I mean everybody went to see Cam Ward throw, and coming out of it, seemed very impressed with everything. But that leaves a huge need at edge rush. So we're here to talk about that a little bit. What are your thoughts on that? Seeing that we're taking Cam Ward, it's going to leave a big hole there because that is probably the more logical move as far as the draft goes. You know, to trade back, maybe take Abdul Carter, find something later. But if someone like Cam Ward impresses you to that degree, you got to take him, right? Because the value of the position.
Yeah, the position's where it's at. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because it wasn't even just the coaches and the GMs that were there. They had the Titans media team there. Everybody was there, watching him throw and recording and everything.
Mm-hmm. I think they went out to dinner and everything afterwards. I heard
the day before, I believe.
Day before, okay.
But we'll get more into his pro day when we start talking about him. But yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But definitely, you go Cam Ward like it's looking like the two biggest positions, and these didn't become edge and receiver for sure.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like you're probably for sure going to get at least two, if not three more guys via draft and free agency before we get, because that's a big need.
Yeah, you're going to need at least two at each position between the free agency and the edge. So what I was going to do first is pull the free agents that are still available at both positions. Just kind of go over and see what we got.
Because you're probably looking at least signing one of these guys, right? If not two, depending on what we do in the draft. But I think that you have to take an edge rusher in one of those first three picks of the draft for four. Depending on what you do as far as trading back and stuff as well. What's up, Colby?
Sunday live stream, baby.
Yes, sir. But yeah, so you definitely have to take an edge rusher in one of those first 3 to 4 picks, depending on what you do with the second pick. If you trade back and get a couple more, get an extra pick, but
edge is pretty deep in this draft, but that's definitely a good thing because none of these free agents really just. Can you see it? I need to zoom in a little bit more.
Yes, yeah, that's cool right there.
Scream to me. I mean, Zadarius Smith is the best one to me. It's still available. Von Miller is 49 years old.
Yeah, you don't want to pay all that money for a piece like that at this point. We're not that close to making a run at a Super Bowl or anything.
John didn't have a great season.
Preston
all
Smith.
Older. Yeah. Didn't really, but Zadarius Smith had 9 sacks last season.
Mm-hmm.
DeMarcus Walker would be so he's here before, had 7 sacks with his one season, so he's done okay. Brandon Graham's retired. Ogba would be a decent one, but
Ogba would be a decent one. Yeah, I think Emmanuel Ogba is one.
Ogba would be my number 2. Zadarius Smith is by far my number 1 on this list.
Yeah, Zadarius Smith, I think, is the best fit out of all those names.
If they brought in
it is thinning out a little bit. I wouldn't
be mad, but I wouldn't be as happy. I'd be like, okay, Judon. I mean, he had good seasons, but he's kind of fallen off the last year or two.
Yeah.
So,
but realistically, we're taking one of these guys, if not two.
At least one in the free agent.
We're making a move in both the draft and the free agency with this position in particular, and one of them you might see 2 moves. You could see I could realistically see us draft 2 edge rushes in
Oh yeah, for sure.
this year's draft. But
But
yeah, that
yeah,
list is thinning out just a little bit there, especially at the
I'm
top.
not sure you're going to see a lot of signings before the draft anyway. You kind of maybe go see what you get and then fill the holes after
Hmm.
that. Receiver. Let's see. Go to available. Hold on. You know, definitely
I
don't
think
want.
Amari Cooper's the guy that we can agree on with this list here as
I'm cool with
well,
Allen
right?
too. I like
Yeah,
both of the
Keenan
guys.
Allen. I think
Like
Amari
a
Cooper's my
security
guy.
blanket for a rookie
Yeah,
quarterback. I don't want Deontay Johnson. He's been nothing but a headache for teams
yeah.
the last couple of years. If so, Lockett's an interesting one to me. If you go end up with like a Egbuka falls, you probably don't need a Lockett because Egbuka can work out of that slot really well.
Hmm.
But say in the second round you draft Luther Burden because he falls, or T Mac has been talked about falling now.
Hmm.
One of those bigger outside receivers, and Tyler Lockett would be amazing for a little somebody who's been doing it consistently,
Yeah.
great in the slot. You know,
There's so many things that could happen, right? They could get something like a. I mean, I'd be happy with like a Jimmy Horn late, like we talked about last week.
yeah,
Picking him up late in the draft.
Jimmy Horn would be a great little slot receiver. I'm Elijah Moore would also be a good one. None of the other guys, Woods, been there, done that. No Bobby Trees for me.
No Bobby Trees, Tyler Boyd. It seemed almost silly. I mean,
Yeah.
I hate that Tyler Boyd was almost
Brandon
non-existent last
Powell is
year, but he didn't have much
talented.
help.
Um, let's see here. Nobody just comes off the page screaming at me.
No, I think Amari Cooper's my guy. And I like Keenan Allen okay as my second, like
Mhm.
you mentioned, but I think Amari Cooper's definitely my guy on this list. I don't think I'm into a Nelson Aguilar
Mhm.
or Tyler Boyd or Bobby Trees. Like I said, we've been there, done that before. Not into Elijah Moore, Chris Conley. I'm out.
You don't like Elijah
Uh,
Moore?
I'm just out as far as the fit and stuff. I mean, it's not about like or dislike necessarily. He might be. He probably is my third on top of that list. Where I can see there, it probably goes Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen, and then yeah, because I'm not seeing anybody
Elijah
else.
Moore and Lockett,
We'll
maybe.
lock it. So yeah, Elijah Moore probably comes in like my fourth choice on that top half of the list there.
The big difference
Um,
between him and the rest of the guys on this list towards the top, he's the youngest. He's not even 25.
sure, yeah, and that's what I think we need, man. I think Amari Cooper and Keenan Allen, like you said, provide that security blanket for a rookie quarterback. You're going to need some of that wisdom and experience at that position this year
Mhm.
for Cam if that is your guy,
Yeah, one of these
which
safety
is looking
blankets.
like it is.
I'm just since we're talking about safety blankets, no one's a bigger safety blanket for a quarterback than a tight end. I just want to see who's out there. Mercedes Lewis is still playing football. That dude is 40,
Wow.
almost 41. That's crazy. Um, yeah, nothing screams at me here either. CJ, yeah, no, but I could definitely see this is a really deep draft for tight ends. So I can see them going with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gerald Everett has had some seasons, but nah, nothing that just like I said. That's definitely one of the positions. If you don't get the tight end you want, then maybe you'll go
Hmm.
sign one after the draft. Um, so since the same positions, we can go into the draft for them and see what we're talking about.
Yeah, hopefully, like I'm hoping. I'm not sure. What do you think? Like, so hopefully, I'm thinking we can trade that second pick back and get another pick, and then you can kind of play around a little bit.
I mean,
You're
it
not
all
as
depends on who
restricted.
falls. You know,
It all depends on who falls. Because I mean, if a guy like you
Pierce
know Mike Green, Pierce, Mikael Williams, I can't ever say this last name, so please forgive me. I'll
Azaruku.
preface this. Yeah, Devin Azaruku. Is that how you say that?
Donovan
Yeah. I don't
Azaruku.
think I was gonna say it that way, but
Yeah, if you can get so if you look here at the list, if you get ones, I
I
don't
mean, I think a
know,
lot of those
one
guys
and
also
two,
have a chance to go early too. It's not like those
yeah,
guys are all guaranteed
Abdul
to fall,
Carter
but
and
I mean,
Jalen
if one of
Walker are
those
definitely not falling.
four guys is there.
Yeah, or if you look at
Oh, what's
receivers,
the other fella's name? Shamar.
Shamar Moore.
Yeah, I mean, if any one of those five guys is sitting there,
Oh,
it'd
I've
be
never
hard to.
I haven't seen Jaden Higgins. That whose rankings are these? These-
Because let me
Um,
tell you, man, if we pick, I've said this a couple times already, but if we pick Cam Ward and then we have James Pierce at that second,
yeah. Or for me, if
we
T Mac, Golden, Egbuka, or Burden fall,
yeah, you might see me try to attempt a backflip on camera live if we were able to pull
yeah,
that off
in the middle of a restaurant because we are going
in
to
the
be
middle of a
live,
restaurant.
a live
So
stream from
watch
Dominic
live because it
Herman.
ain't gonna happen. It'd be funny.
Yeah. No, and to me, if Luther Burden, Egbuka fall, 'cause I don't. I've seen reports of T Mac. It looks like he's fallen just because they don't think he loves the game like that. That would be crazy.
Well, let's be honest though, with all this, so with the 5 names or so that I listed, 3 or 4 names there listed,
If any of those
somebody's gonna
fall,
drop.
yeah,
Somebody's gonna drop. I mean, that's 8 names right there. Um,
it might be good if somehow. I think he's going to end up being a first round pick by the end of it. But Jackson Dart, if he has like a Will Levis type fall and he's there in the beginning of the second, someone might pay that
his name has
premium.
slowly been increasing in stock
I've been
over
seeing
the
a
last
lot
few
of
years.
drafts having the Steelers drafting him at
Part
2.
of that's also with the position being so valued, and it looking more and more like the Titans are into Cam Ward. So it's some of those guys that were maybe looking like they were going to go in the beginning of the second round are probably moving up. I think a Jackson Dart may go top 10. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he could go to something like the Raiders.
Yeah.
Honestly, I could see them drafting somebody like that. So I mean, I don't know what New York Giants are thinking right now. I mean, they've made some moves at quarterback this offseason, but I guess they realistically could still take something. But I'm not surprised if Shador Sanders and Cam Ward are your first 2 picks off the board, and then the rest of the team starts scrambling to see, who's going to. Because I think Jackson Dart probably is your third guy.
I don't know much about the QB we picked up. Can y'all break down his accolades? Are we talking about Tim Boyle, the one we just signed? Not
Yeah,
much
Tim
to him.
Bowl,
Man.
not much to him. Yeah,
Yeah, he's a 0-5
a depth
quarterback.
piece or a practice squad piece. I'm imagining there's not much. I mean, I don't
He
know what that
was.
says about Will Levis.
I feel
Uh,
like the same thing with both of these quarterbacks we signed. Brandon Allen and Tim Boyle are both really smart players, but don't have the talent to do the position.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so um, coaches on the field kind of thing. Those who can't do teach kind of vibe.
Took the words out of my
Um,
mouth.
he was so Chad Brinker, who was our president of football operations, was in Green Bay when they signed Tim Boyle. I don't know if it was undrafted or I'm sure he's undrafted. Um, so he has familiarity with him, and I know some people like him, some people hate him. Aaron Rodgers loves Tim Boyle as his backup, so I'm guessing there's
Well,
that
love or hate Aaron
there.
Rodgers, he's a very smart
He knows ball.
football player. Yeah,
Yeah. So he gonna be someone that's gonna help us. So that's why every move we've made has pointed to Cam Ward or
yeah,
Shador.
absolutely.
Whatever, being the pick. Um, I mean, Brian Callahan did. I mean, he's kind of come out and said what we've all been saying. It was yesterday or the day before. It was like, yeah, we've been, really getting closer on finding out who we're gonna pick. Is it gonna
Yeah,
be Cam, Shador, Abdul Carter, or Travis Hunter? It's those 4 guys, which has been the whole thing anyway. It didn't really give you anything.
yeah. I think we narrowed it down though a couple weeks ago. We could narrow it down to one
it,
of the quarterbacks or Abdul Carter. I think Travis Hunter is like he's a nice piece that's hard to pass up, but
it's
it's
not a
just
number one. The position value is not there for number
the
one pick.
position value. It all comes down to that position value. That's what it all comes back to. So, I mean, I would love to have a Travis Hunter, but I just don't think it's happening or necessary, obviously. And like Cam Ward is just obviously looking like the guy, and the Titans have come out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is true exactly what they said, but I saw something crazy like it would take 3 number 1 picks
Yeah,
for them to
that was
move
after
out
his
now.
pro day.
Yeah.
Which I want to dive into. Just want to look at
We
these
can dive
receivers.
into pro day. We can move on.
There's a lot of
But
good players in the
definitely.
receiver, but
And one
yeah,
thing to
one of
remember
these
as well, I
Abdul
want to touch
Carter.
on I don't think we talked about it off air. I don't think we've mentioned it on screen or on camera.
Mhm.
Is that the Titans are the number 1 on the waiver wire this year through the whole offseason. And that's not like fantasy football where
He goes
your number.
through like the first 2 weeks of the season too.
Yeah, and it's not like fantasy football where for y'all
You
that don't
roll,
know, where
you have
you
first
roll
dibs on
back.
everybody.
Yeah, so it's first dibs, and so there'll probably be a lot of waiver moves
Mm-hmm.
after the draft as well, especially for we can see a move or two at edge rush there. I
I
think you
mean,
need
that
some
goes all the
talent
way
at edge rush
through final
all the
cuts.
way through. Definitely
Yeah.
through. You're definitely going to need a couple pieces on the interior defensive line. We're pretty solid there for our main four guys:
Yeah.
Sweat, Simmons, Coburn, SJD. But you'll definitely see a few of these waiver wire moves probably on our D line
Yeah, for sure.
after
Go,
the
Coburn,
draft.
even
But,
Draymond Jones, I think, is a guy who can kind of go in and out and play a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not going to. I mean, you never know what you might find out there. There's always some kind of surprising cut. But having that waiver is really good about building a strong depth.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
there's benefits for being the worst team in the league.
There are some benefits. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the pro day, they went down there. Like I said, we talked about how everybody was down there, really impressed. There was a play where Cam Ward uh, rolled out left, threw it right, and looked directly at
It was almost
Borgon.
if God had put that spot right there for him in that moment and said, "Here you
Yeah,
go."
yeah, right
And, he
at
just,
Borgonzi and Brinker, and
and he's
said,
throwing against air, folks. He's not,
"Yeah,
we
yeah."
get that. We get that it's just, he's throwing out there.
But he looked directly at Brinker and Borgonzi and said, "I'm solidifying it today."
Yeah, I got it
So
in quotes. He said, "I'm stealing the deal today."
yeah, yeah. So I mean, I love the confidence for sure. Uh,
Absolutely.
and then Friday,
Well,
they
that's a
flew.
good point because people talk about I understood the argument too. Uh, like Shador Sanders and drafting a Shador Sanders gives you some of that swagger, right? You get a little bit of that Sanders family swagger. You get a little bit of that,
Yeah,
juice, and
yeah.
you give yourself an identity as a team.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, your boy Cam Ward does the same thing, man. If not more.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
I want
So
my quarterback to have a little cockiness to him, honestly.
absolutely, man. I mean, well, dude,
Oh,
it's been so fucking stagnant as a Titans fan and
mhm.
stuff. Excuse my French. I try to not do that. I slipped up there, but yeah, uh, I know. But we've been so dadgum stagnant.
Yeah, for sure.
It'll be nice to have a little bit of swagger on the team, a little bit. So
Either one of those guys will definitely bring it, swagger, for sure.
absolutely.
Whether it's a little bit of this or a little bit of this, we're gonna have a little swagger. um, but no, then Friday, the whole squad was down in Miami again, working, doing a
Hmm.
private workout with them. It was Brinker, Borgonzi, McKenzie, Ziegler, Callahan, Nick Holes, and Bo Hardigree. So all his direct coaches and everybody high up in the front office, they let
If you believe what
apparently.
everybody's saying, I think a lot of them conversations were, all right, well, what jersey number do you want?
Mhm.
Here's where your locker's going to be. So
Um,
it's an exciting time. It's as bad as the season
it
was
could
last
very
year.
well
So
have
it's
been a meeting
exciting.
where it really was like, here's the playbook, start learning, kind of thing. Who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah.
You
Here's
don't
your
know.
playbook. Here's your
Yeah.
locker number. Here's your what
What
jersey do
number
you
do you
want?
want? Yep, yep, yep.
Is there
Um,
anybody wearing your number that we need to talk to?
but they are still doing due diligence. Apparently, it went really well, and what you probably assumed. But no, Shador Sanders Pro Day is Friday this week, which is April 4th, and they already have a private workout scheduled for him the following Wednesday on April
Yeah,
9th. So they are doing their due diligence. I
absolutely.
do think it comes down
Well,
to
you don't
one of
just
those two
stop, right?
guys.
Because
Yeah,
you think you have your guy.
you
You're
gotta
still
do.
gonna, and
Yeah,
not only that, they want to scout these guys because they're also going to be playing them.
that's true.
So I mean, it does good to come in and scout their abilities and
Especially if he
see.
goes to the Browns because you play the Browns next year.
Yeah, absolutely. So I
But
mean,
the
it's not
knowledge is power, regardless.
absolutely. So it's not they're not going to stop just because,
It'll
and
be
that
really
doesn't
interesting
change.
to see like when how many people are out at Shador's Pro Day. If it's the
Mm,
whole squad again, if they bring the media team again, because you
yeah.
feel like you bring the media team, you're trying to come up with like have all this video to do like video packages. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
For like, oh, road to the draft. Cam Ward, here's his pro day, and here's the private workout and stuff like
right.
that. So who knows? There's always conspiracy theories and that stuff.
I'm
But
gonna
yeah,
get nervous. I'll tell you what, I can already feel it, man. I'm already nervous. I'm gonna be nervous right up until that name gets called, man, because I've been, that's who I want, man. I've been adamant about that. I want Cam
it's
Ward.
one of the two because even Abdul
Uh,
Carter, I think, is out of the conversation at this point.
I
Not
think
not
so
even,
too.
not even just
I think you have
positional
to go
value.
quarterback.
Well, the quarter, yeah, we do need quarterback, but also he is now not working out at his pro day. He's been all these injuries are coming around.
Mm-hmm.
They say the foot wasn't a big deal, but
Yeah,
he's not working out now because at the comment like, oh, he's still recovering from the shoulder, but he's ready to show out at his pro day.
right.
And then he's not working out at the pro day. It almost feels like they're like, oh, he doesn't need surgery, and then he gets drafted. And they're like, okay, now he's gonna go get his foot cleaned up. Now that he's
Right,
a top 3 draft pick,
right,
kind of
right.
thing. I don't trust it. And like the way they've been signing free agents of only guys that have been available
Mm-hmm.
doesn't fit the. So I really do think it's down to 2, and it's Cam and Shador.
I think it is too. I think every move that we've made, especially in the last 2 3 weeks, points to quarterback.
And it's probably 75-25 more likely Cam, but I do think
Yeah.
I do think Brian Callahan likes Shador. I think he likes them both a lot. You can see that
Mm-hmm.
even in his interactions with Cam. After the
Yeah.
pro day, you're smiling around with him, joking around with him and stuff. But I do think he appreciates the kind of quarterback that Shador
I'll
is.
probably be a little bit agitated at first. It'll take me a minute to get past it if we don't take Cam Ward because that's just who I want.
Yeah.
I'll find a way to like it though. I mean,
I mean,
obviously, if he obviously comes out and does well, that
yeah.
cures everything. So I think you have to take quarterback though. I'm afraid to not take one of these guys. I've said that a few times, and
Tennessee,
but it
Houston.
seems like we definitely are now though. But,
All right, Tennessee officially lost today to Houston. So Duke versus Houston. Sorry, I was just looking at that.
no problem.
We got a video though where it's Keyshawn Johnson and TJ, who's your mama?
TJ, who's your mama?
Who's your mama? And
TJ, who's your mama?
we don't really have to worry about that too much. Where they're talking about Cam Ward. So let's see what they got to say, and we'll react in real time. I haven't watched this at all. Make sure the volume's up. Okay.
Analyst TJ Hishmanzada is joining us now. TJ, you work with a lot of the guys going into
All-time great name.
So how much pro day helps their draft thoughts?
The pro day is just confirmation to what you've seen on tape. The majority of these guys, they are going to look better than they've looked during the season. Because you think about it, as soon as the season is, especially for a quarterback, you're working on your mechanics, you're making sure you dialed in, and you're doing this every single day. Every single day. And I don't know who trained Cam Ward, but the pro day, so about 10 days out, you've already done your pro day 2 or 3 times a week prior to the pro day.
Yep.
And so when you do the pro day, that's just icing on the cake because we've repped it so much. And so I expect a guy
show
like
video,
Cam Ward to look really good in this pro day because you're repping it day after day after day leading up.
What'd you say?
Are we gonna have a video play? Is it just gonna be a blurry still shot right here?
I guess.
I thought he was gonna start moving.
It's nice to know that even the professionals have issues.
Yeah, but it does make a good point. Like this is all scripted. Like he's run through this exact script several times before this.
Yeah.
I know exactly what they're doing. The one thing because I watched every single throw. If they had a bad throw or a receiver didn't like the rep or he didn't like the rep, they ran it back. Like we're not done, or they did it. They came back and did it at the end of practice. Like we're gonna hit every throw.
Mm-hmm.
Because he had a couple bad throws and I think the receivers had a couple bad routes. It happens. No one's gonna do that.
Yeah.
But it was a really good pro day.
Well, I think from what we're hearing a lot though is like from just talking to him, I think they like what's between here.
Oh yeah.
He's able to tell them why something's wrong or not. So.
Yeah, and then the last play of the pro day, they did the Cam Ward special where they did like a double reverse pass to Cam Ward in the corner of the end zone where Xavier was
Yeah.
Threw a touchdown. Was pretty cool. But we can get back in it.
To it. I just believe it's confirmation. You should never be swayed by what somebody does in a pro day because we're preparing for this. This is what you've prepared for weeks and sometimes months. And so Cam Ward
Sure has
I
been
was
months.
impressed with some of them throws he made yesterday. The accuracy, rolling to his left, and the way he was just able to get around his body and throw the ball. But the quarterbacks nowadays, man, it's nothing that surprised me. These dudes are so talented. They're all so talented, but it's the work they put in. And you get out there on the field. I mean, it was raining a few weeks ago. We out there in the rain, 2-3 hours, just out there. They working.
Key, what are your expectations for Cam in the NFL?
Expectations.
I love TJ, but that was a lot of talking for no info.
Yeah, it was a lot of.
He didn't really give me much there.
It's a lot of bloviating.
He
As
just
Stephen A.
said
Smith would say.
they're working like several times. We know they're working. I'm working too. It might be a little bit different.
He's
job.
gonna sit up in here and bloviate all over my set.
As I would say, it depends on the
Jim Rome,
circumstances,
more
the
for the
situation, and environment that he's in. He needs all three to succeed. He's got to have all three to succeed. And what I mean by that, you got to have the right coaches, the right organization, and understanding who he is as the quarterback. And TJ's right about what he just said about confirmation. Pro days I just want to see the ball come off. I want to see it spinning.
What else you look for mechanics and things like that?
Yeah, that's what I want to see because the film, I've seen enough film. I already know
He wants to see it spinning.
But the things that I need to do is I need to hear the ball whistle. I need to be able to see it coming with velocity. And if I could look at that, then I can say to myself, that's the guy for us.
Quick pause.
If you don't hear,
they are making memeing and gifing so easy on this video.
Yeah.
By the way, it just says something.
I
want to hear whistle. I want to hear whistle.
Seeing he just wants to see how the ball comes up the hand, off the ham. You know, that is one thing that Cam had. There was some zip on those.
Yeah.
They flew out of his hand, and you could just. It was really good. He has a very quick, sharp release.
I was gonna say I like his quick decision making.
Is it going to give you pause? Like,
It gives me pause. Same thing for a receiver. I want to see if the receiver's out there playing volleyball, catching the football, and that's what it sounds like. I can't. That's real talk.
Because in the game, that's incomplete.
That's incomplete.
Yeah.
I need to hear. That's all I need to hear. As soon as it touches the hand. All of those things. When I'm watching the receiver, need to see him drop his hips, come out of the break. In the film, I really can't see that. I can see it, but it doesn't give me the same thing with my eyes when you seeing it. Like Cam Ward, I need to really be able to have the opportunity to stand next to him. Is he 6'2"? Is he really 6'1"? What is he? Because I may have not gone to the combine. This may be the first real.
This is unrelated, but it came out like last week. Will Campbell, the offensive tackle out of LSU, he figured out the combine. That's why I'm talking about it. His arms were like a half an inch longer than they were measured at the combine, and there was several offensive linemen that came out at their pro days where their arms were like. So I don't know if it's like the school trying to help him out or what's going on at the combine. You know, where all these measurements are off. I just thought that was weird. He said,
"Yeah, that is strange."
So sorry.
No, you're good.
I tracked right there.
Arm gate.
Opportunity as the quarterback coach, as the offensive coordinator, and you would say, "Well, how is that?" Some teams don't even go to the combine anymore. They wait for the pro days to get it real to place eyes on guys. But
that's a big thing for Cam Ward too. So, Cam didn't throw at the combine. Neither did Shador. And they both said the same thing. And I really like this about both of them because he's right. There's all 32 teams were at Miami's pro day in some capacity. Now, were the Giants and Titans had more people there? Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
But neither of them said they wanted to throw at the combine because they wanted to throw at their pro day so they could show off their receivers more. People say, "Oh, they do it because they want to throw to who they know." Yeah, that's probably true. It helps them like timing, but they also were like, "I want to get eyes on my guys more, too."
Right.
And one thing about both of them, I feel like they're both really good teammates too. Now,
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, man. Like that's become a little bit more of the norm with some of the bigger talent now is to just do a pro day.
Mhm.
It's at least not uncommon for somebody to forego the
I don't
combine.
know if he's completely right about they don't show up at the combine because I think they do. All teams
Yeah, of course
there.
they do.
Maybe there's different
Yeah.
capacities that they're there because it's not just hey, let's watch you run your 40. There's so
Well,
much.
they're also
It's a
looking at
free
more than
interview.
just the
It's a free interview that doesn't go against your top 30 visits and stuff like that. You know what
yeah,
I
and
mean?
they're scouting how many players. I mean, they're it's not just the top 5.
It might be like a little it's kind of like speed dating. Yeah, since
Yeah.
we're gonna have to do
Sure. Yeah.
long walks on the beach. Do you? No.
What's your favorite color?
We're buffering. We're buffering. Try to get a thumbs up while we're waiting.
I think he's going to be a hell of a quarterback. He just needs to, I beg, he has to go to the right situation. Because if you take a guy like Zach Wilson, no matter what you think about him, as the number 2 pick in the draft, he went to the wrong situation and it killed him, K-I-L-T. Okay? It just did.
Yeah.
If you put him with Sean McVay, or you put him with Kyle Shanahan as a rookie, or you put him with somebody that has this boy wonder type attitude opposed to what he was going through in New York, he might be a different quarterback.
What are your expectations, Paul?
Well, I don't really have major expectations, and Key says it's all time. Learn to get to the arena.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? As a rookie. Because we saw when we start putting these expectations on these rookie quarterbacks, it'll disappoint you. Like, we saw Caleb Williams. We made all these comparisons. We gave him all these expectations, playoffs, rookie of the year, all of these things. Next, Patrick Mahomes. And so right now, I just want to see him play because, the Titans are in desperate need of a future franchise quarterback. And this is not anything against Will Levis, but he didn't show.
All right.
I'm glad you paused it there. I mean, we can't let that just slide. You can't just let Will Levis just slide there.
I can't watch a video of Paul Pierce breaking down quarter.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was on there.
Franchise quarterback Will Levis.
Yeah, that threw me off right there, man. I didn't even realize he was sitting there, man. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's enough of that. Yeah, I mean, dude, here's the thing, guys. We don't know what these videos are going to contain. We don't watch them before we react to them, so we don't know what we're getting into. Sometimes it's a little more insufferable than others.
Canelo Alvarez breaking down NFL draft prospects. So, and Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
David Letterman breaks down tonight's NBA. Danny DeVito is on here with his NFL expertise.
That's crazy. Yeah, but I think it's sneaking up on us. The draft will be over in a month, but it's the 20.
Hey, to be fair, I gave Paul Pierce a chance till he said Will Levis.
Yeah, I was listening, and then Will Levis sent me 24. So we're 7, 14, 21, 22, 25 days away.
Yeah, it's sneaking up fast though.
So I'm excited. We will, like I said, we're gonna be live at Dominic's and Hermitage doing a stream from there, reacting live to the draft. So we're excited for that. So if y'all have an opportunity to come out and check us out there, definitely come check us out.
And if not, just check us out on Facebook or YouTube or X.
If you can't make it, we'll be there. There's not. I mean, it's kind of slow this next week or two, but we'll be on.
A little bit shorter show this week. Not as much to talk about, but that's how this time of year is. We'll be probably back to our normal schedule this week.
We'll be back on Friday. Hopefully, we'll have
back on Friday.
I think Mike couldn't make it this weekend, but hopefully he'll be back with us next week.
Yeah, Michael, y'all should be seeing Michael a lot more, and we're hoping to maybe have a couple other people show up here and there. But look forward to seeing Michael a little bit more in the future as well.
But before we get out
Turn
of here,
to the Titans table for 3.
Our final.
All right. Throw me on top of you. Let's see.
You
All
did
right.
below me.
I've got two kind of. One of them's a little silly, and then one of them. Shout out to Eddie George though. New job at Bowling Green State University, and they're also one of the new additions to Division One. So he spent his time here at TSU locally, coaching and stuff. So happy for Eddie.
Really,
Eddie's one of my favorite.
Helped that program too. They did a really good.
Yeah, absolutely. He's always been. We had a football coach at high school where I went that actually played at TSU and was drafted to the NFL and played with Eddie George one year on the same roster. So
that's really cool.
Roger Jones, shout out Roger Jones if you ever see this. But yeah, man, Eddie George, one of my favorite players, man. Pretty much the reason I got into football and stuff. So, and then I kind of have a silly one, man. Any of you wrestling fans out there watching the new WWE LFG, where the current guys are coming up and competing? Former Titans cheerleader on there, I hope I don't butcher her last name, Danielle Sikelski. She's pretty talented, man. It's really cool to watch, actually. Former Titans cheerleader out there. Might be one of your new superstars in WWE for the women's division. Really cool to see.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, my final bite. Also rocking the Orioles jersey. Baseball opening week.
Hell yeah, man. Go Orioles. Go Rangers.
Final bite is the news came out this week that we're not wearing the Oilers jerseys this year. Was first news like that sucks. It's the best jerseys in the NFL. You know?
Yeah, I love wearing those in Houston, just rubbing it in and winning a game there.
Well, and then we lose the last two times, so it's hard. I think I've been. The more I thought about it, the more I became a fan. Where I was like, we need to change the culture and be a winning team and earn the right to wear those jerseys again, because we have not deserved the last 2 years where we started wearing them has not been great. So
yeah.
Let's
might need to throw on some 98 throwback jerseys or something, man. Get some of that.
Yeah. So nothing wrong with that wear that jersey Eddie's wearing right there. But yeah, it's gonna be all right. I think we'll see him again in the future, just not at the moment, But yeah, I think like I said, quick show, good show. Hold on, let's see when they bring the Oilers jerseys back at the new stadium, it's gonna be hit like crack. Yeah, I think so. And
yeah, it'll come back again, man. Everything always makes a return.
I'm wondering if we have a couple of years when the new stadium opens, they don't just go brand new jerseys altogether.
Maybe. Yeah.
And maybe they fit that Oilers colorway into it a little bit more. Maybe that's the plan too.
Yeah.
Because that light blue and that red together, man, it really just.
I wish they would throw a more. We never did see them on the field, but I've always wanted to see a predominantly red jersey. You know what I mean, with some of the light blue and navy blue.
I think the hard part right now is you'd be too resemble the Texans. You don't want to do that.
Well, yeah, there's so many teams with red. I get it, but it's just one-time deal. You know what I mean? You could wear them. I think there was a rumor at one point we thought they were going to wear them on the Christmas game back then. Remember?
I think,
it never happened.
It's almost like a Mandela effect where people feel like they did see him on the field at one point, but they've never.
People swear they did sometimes. And I have to tell, no, man, I'm a true blue Titans fan. Man, I've watched every game. Yeah, I've watched every single game that's ever happened, man. I maybe have not watched the fourth quarter of some of these games where we got our freaking butt whooped. I do turn it off eventually. But yes,
I own a red jersey, so I do. They do.
Yeah, they're out there, but never on the field. Never on the field. But yeah, man, a little shorter show. We'll come back to you guys here in a few days. Friday, be looking for us to go live again. It's usually later in the evening, around 9 to 10 o'clock. But come check us out. Like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below anything you want to add to the conversation. We'd love to hear from you, and we appreciate everybody tuning in. It's been a fun ride so far.
Absolutely.
So we'll see you here in a few days.
Check, please. This is on you.
Okay.
See you, boys. Tighten up.
Peace.